My name is Marissa, and I'm going to do a tutorial today for the Potomac Bead Company. And for today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this bracelet that I'm calling my crosses bracelet. And this is how it looks. And I'm calling it crosses because I'm using the Silky crosses beads that are these. They're like silky beads, except these have the crosses design on one side. The other side is flat, and the one side has crosses on them, and they're cut. And for this bracelet, I have also used one of these table cut buttons. I just love the way it looked with these silky cross beads, so that's one of the reasons why I used it. Plus, they're just so pretty. So this is how it looks. And for this project, you're going to need, as I said, you are going to need some things. First are the silky cross beads. And for the one I'm going to make with you today, I'm going to use the the current bronze, which is like a dark red and bronze. See? Very nice. Very, very nice color. I liked it immediately as soon as I saw it. You are going to need some rulla beads, and I'm just going to use the Crystal Picasso. And see, the rullas go in between your crosses. So that's why I'm using the Crystal Picasso. I want to give it the same effect as this one has. You can see them, but you can tell that the main focus on this bracelet is the silky crosses. And of course, the lovely table cut button. As I said, I'm going to use a table cut button for the one I'm going to make with you today. And I'm going to use, there's actually 5 different mixes. And this is from mix 5. So I'm going to use this one. It's like a red and bronze. And this is Check Table Cut Button Mix, mix 5. You will also need some seed beads. You will need 8-ohs, 11-ohs, and 15-ohs. For my 8-ohs, I'm using Miyuki Galvanized Gold. For my 15-ohs, I'm using the Black Bronze. And for my 11-ohs are also Miyuki. I'm using the Galvanized Champagne and I believe it's called African Sunlight or African Sunset. So these are my 11-ohs, 8-ohs, and 15-ohs. To put everything together, you will need 2 needles, size 10 will work. And I've already strung 6 feet of 0.006 wildfire beading thread in green. You will also need flat nose pliers to flatten your thread ends to make threading your needles easier. And then scissors or something to cut your thread with, and I'm using the Ultra Thread Sap. Okay, so you will also need, for the sides here, some 4mm beads. And for today's project, I'm not sure yet, but I have some 4mm glass pearls. So, and I also have some 4mm round crystal. They look like Crystal Picasso. They look like my rulla beads. So I might use these. I might use my glass pearls. I don't know yet, but you'll see when I get there. I just have to try them first, and I'll stick with the one that I like. So, but you will need 4mm beads. So also for this project. So go ahead and get your things together, and I will meet you back and show you what to do first. Okay, for our first step, you're going to need to make little piles of your 11-ohs, your rulla beads, and your silky cross beads. And just make sure you have checked the holes in your silky crosses and in your rulla beads to make sure that they're all good and that none of them have clogged holes. So, and we're going to put in our button first. So I have my needles ready to go with 6 feet of thread. 6 feet sounds like a lot, but when you have 2 needles, you basically cut that in half. So you're pretty much working with 2 3-foot pieces, which is okay. Okay, so on one needle, put on 3 11-0s, and then take that needle, go through one hole of your button, take your other needle, go through the other hole of your button, and this is what you should have. Hold on to your button and pull your needles to make sure that this stays in the center. So this is what we have. Now on each needle goes 2 11-0s. Let those drop. One more 11-0, and on one needle, take your other needle and cross through it. So, and again, pull it down like that to make sure everything stays in the center. So this is what you should have. We put on our button. Now we need to pick up 2 more 11-0s on each needle. Let those drop. And we're going to pick up our first silky bead with one needle going in one hole, the other needle going through the other hole. We're not crossing, it's just like this. So hold on to it and let it drop. So this is what you should have. Now from here on out, it's going to be a very, very simple pattern of 11-0 on each hand. 11-0 on each needle, rulla on each needle, 11-0 on each needle. So this is our sequence. 11-0, rulla, 11-0 on each needle. Pick up another silky. Now from here on out, make sure all of your silkies are facing the same. It didn't matter with your first one, but now here on out it will. So just make sure that all of your silkies have the cross side up. So this is what you should have. And this is all our first step. It's just silky, 11-0, rulla, 11-0, silky. So I'll do that one more time. I already have my silky on, 11-0 on each, rulla on each, 11-0 again. Let them drop, and then another silky, making sure that it is facing the same, just like your other ones, and pull. So this is our first step. And this is what you should have. So do this all the way to the number of silky beads that you're going to need, to the number that fits you. On this one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 16. This one has 16 silky beads. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And this fits me just right. So this is about 6 3/4 inch of bracelet. So for this size, you will need 16 of your silky crosses. So you will need anywhere from, I guess, 16 to 18, more if you need more or less if you need less. So go ahead and do the length that you need, the length that goes comfortably around your wrist, but keep in mind of your clasp or your button or whatever you're using. The bracelet will not shrink, so go ahead and do the amount that you think you will need. And I will be back and show you what to do next. Okay, so I finished adding all of my silky beads with my 11-0 rulla 11-0, separating them. And now you should be coming out of a silky bead, and we're ready to do our loop for our button. So I'm just going to, with one needle, pick up a bunch of 11-ohs, and I'm not really going to count. I think the number is usually between 26 and 28 when it's a cut button. So maybe roughly around that number. You'll just have to check. Just test it out. If you happen to be using one of these table cut buttons, just test it out once you have the number that you think you have before you really tighten your loop on there. So I'm just going to pick up a bunch of beads to, just gonna eyeball it for now, and then I will just test it, which I think I'm good here, but let's get some more on there. I don't think I have enough. So what I want to do is I want to do the way I did it over here at the beginning of my bracelet. The way I did the 2 here, cross through 1, and then I did my button. I want to do the same thing on the other side. So I need to take that into account as well. So I'm going to kind of leave 2 here. That's right after my Silky. And then I'm going to take my other needle, put in 2, and then I'm going to cross through the 3rd one here so that I'm in position to just reinforce. Okay, so here is my other needle. And I'm coming out of this middle bead here. This is my string with my beads. And I'm coming out this way out of this middle bead here. So I'm just going to go and circle around and go through that same middle bead and pull. And I'm just going to check my loop to make sure that it fits my button. Make sure it's not too big, which I think it's too big. Yeah, it's a little bit too big. So I'm just going to go back out, take out 2, and then I'm just going to reinforce this with my other needle. So that will put 2 threads down this loop. And then when I come back, I am going to reinforce it again. 2 threads is good, but it's better if you do 1 or 2 more. Okay, so I have this. Now I'm going to take my other needle that's already in place. You know, at this point, it's not going to be tight. You gotta just reinforce it, and then once you go through your other beads after your loop, that will tighten it. But at this point, it's not going to be very tight, and that's okay, because you'll get to tighten it after this step. So we're almost done. And I know going through the loop is not the most exciting part of a project, but we're almost done. Okay, so both of my threads are coming out of this middle bead here. So now, take one needle. The one on my left-hand side is going to go down these 2 beads. And then I'm going to go down my Silky. My Silky cross. And then I'm going to hop on over to the other hole of my Silky cross. Go up that one. So now I'm coming out, ready to go on my right side. With this needle coming out of this middle seed bead, I'm going to go down these 2 here on the side and down my Silky, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hop on to the other hole, which you can't see my thread because this thread is amazing. It just blends in. Can't even see it. I love it. And then just pull hard. Tighten up your project. Okay, so now we're ready to do our sides. So now for this step, we are going to do this part. So this part of our bracelet, another easy step. You're coming out of your silkies like this. So now we're just going to add, and I'm going to get my other color of 11-ohs, which are my African Sunset. Very pretty color, by the way. I'm going to use my other color. You don't need to use two different colors, but I am. So for here, you're going to use your 4mm beads. Okay, so for this step, and again, it's another really simple step, and I already did a couple, but I will show you. You're coming out of your Silky bead. So just put on each of your needles an 11-oh, a 4mm bead, and 11-oh, and go through your rulla. And all you're going to be doing is connecting your rullas, putting an 11-oh, 4mm, 11-oh in between them, and then going through your next rulla. So like I said, I did 2 here. Now I'm going to continue. And right now, as it is, your rullas are going to be flopping to and fro. Well, after this step, they won't do that anymore. So it's 11-oh, 4mm, 11-oh. And even though at the beginning you were coming out, sometimes you have to add an extra bead when you're coming out, when you're just starting your next step, when it's like this, and when you're doing edge work like that. For this one, you don't have to. You can just start right with the pattern, which is 11-oh, 4mm, 11-oh. So do a couple, maybe 3 on one side, and then do the other side. And then go back and do more on that one side again, and so forth. Don't get too ahead doing this step, because you want to make sure your tension stays the same. So I'm just going to pick up my bracelet because it's easier for me to do it when I pick it up. So, and I went ahead and I stayed with the clearish color, which is the Crystal Picasso color, and they do match my rullas, and it might look like a little bit too much of that color, but I like it, so I'm going to stay with it. So 11-oh, 4mm, 11-oh, and I'm going to go to the other side and do some more on that side. So I want to keep my bracelet in frame. So here we go with my 11-oh, 4mm, 11-oh. So this is a pretty simple bracelet, but because of these silky beads, these silky crosses, it just looks way fancy. It's very nice. So it doesn't look like it's an easy project. So all the way along the sides of your bracelet for this step, this is what you're doing. 11-oh, 4mm round, 11-oh. I'm not sure how it would look with 4mm fire polish, since those aren't as round as a regular round bead, but you know, try it. Maybe you can get away with it if you use 15-ohs, since they are going to take up more space lengthwise. Maybe demi rounds with a fire polish. I'm not sure, I haven't tried it, but you know, go ahead and try it. So, but go ahead and finish this step all the way down to your end. Once you do that, go through your Silky, up your beads here, and reinforce your button or whatever kind of clasp there. And I'll be back and show you what to do next. So I have already put my beads on the side, and if you want to leave it like this, you can. it's already very cute the way it is, but I'm going to go ahead and do my last step. And again, this is another crisscross that's going to go on top here. See? Like another cross in between the crosses. So I want to do that to mine. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So after I added my beads on the side, I just went up and I reinforced my button. I came out of that middle bead here at the V, went down these two, went through my Silky, and I'm coming out of my Silky. So on this side, I'm coming out of that middle bead. I'm going to go down these two here, the very first two that we put when we started the project at the beginning. These two, not the ones with our groupings that we did right now on the side. Do not go through that one, just go through those two and then go down your Silky. And do not catch that 11-0 after your Silky. From here on out, we're only going to be adding beads and going through our Silkies. So I went ahead and I changed the color of my 15-0. I'm using a metallic mix because I'm going to use a galvanized 8-0, and I didn't want to use anything shiny because I don't like for it to like blend in together. So I'm going to use a metallic mix matte 15-0 and then the galvanized gold 8-0. So I'm coming out of my Silky. I'm going to pick up two 15-0s on each needle. And then I'm going to pick up my 8-0, and I'm not going to cross through it. I'm just going to take both of my needles, and they're both going to go in through there the same direction. But don't mix up your needles. So your left hand needle needs to stay to the left and your right to the right. So put that on top. Add two more 15-0s to each needle, and then go through your next Silky. So that's going to put that 8-0 on the top. So needle on my left hand goes through the hole on the left, needle on my right hand goes through the hole of the Silky on the right. Only go through the Silky. Do not catch the 11-0. So that puts my 8-0 there on top with another little cross at the top. So let's do that again. Two 15-0s. Whoops. And then two, I need to get these closer to me because I really can't see them. So two 15-0s. Gonna get my 8-0. My 8's a little bit bigger, so that's not really a problem, but my 15-0s, oh wow. So again, went through my 8-0 in the same direction. Needle on the left stays on the left, going through that Silky. Did I catch the Silky or did I go underneath it? Yeah, I caught it. And I did not put two 15-0s after. Okay, got ahead of myself. Gonna back out. Before you go through your Silky, after you've gone through your 8-0 in the same direction, got a little ahead of myself, pick up two more 15-0s and then go through your Silky. So I went, why in the world was that too loose? That's why it was too loose. Okay. Needle on my right goes through the right hole of my Silky. And there we go. And pull, and again, another crisscross action going in between those Silkies. So go ahead and do this all the way down your bracelet. Again, another simple step. If you have any problem, go ahead and stop the video at any time and rewind it, and then just go through it again. So I already picked up my two 15s on each, picked up my 8, went in through that, both needles going in the same direction, two 15-0s on each needle again. Make sure you don't forget that. make sure I don't forget that. And then go through your Silky and your Silky only. Do not catch any of those 11-0s that come right before and right after it. So do that, and then if you have to kind of help it to make sure they stay right on top, go ahead. So this is what we got, and keep doing this all the way down. So I finished putting my 8-0s here in the middle, doing these little crisscrosses in between my actual Silky cross beads. And all I did was, when I went through these, through the last Silky bead here and came out, I just reinforced. And then with my other needle, I just did one row of peyote stitch around, and then I just met my threads, pushed my threads over to the back, I tied a knot, and I burned my thread. So this is what you should have. This is our finished piece, and I'm going to try it on because I like that little button. It's just really cute. So this is the little button. This is our table cut button. And this is how it looks on. Very cute. And this is the other one that I made in the other color. So this is what you should have. And again, it was a very quick, simple, but very cute project. So in my opinion, this is also beginner friendly. So go ahead and have fun making this bracelet. And like I said, I use the table cut buttons. Now these are available at Potomac Bead Company, but I believe they are available for a limited time. I'm not sure if they're going to carry them once they run out. I believe they're going to try to have someone manufacture them, but as of right now, well, we should find out. And a great way to find out about that, and not just about these table cut buttons, but whatever new products are coming out, is to ask to join their Facebook group. And that's a good idea because, like I said, you can find out about new products, and you can see other work, other things that other people have made. You can ask questions. And you know, you'll get a lot of advice, a lot of friendly advice, a lot of encouragement, motivation. So it's a good idea. It's a good idea to ask to become a member. So this is what we have. This is our crosses bracelet. I hope you enjoyed making it, and thank you very much for watching.